World leaders in innovation are typically high-income countries that make big investments in technical education and research. But emerging countries are catching up. They could, however, do better if they cooperated more on innovation internationally. That's one of the key findings of this year's Global Innovation Index report. One of the authors of this report is Bruno Lanvin. He's the Executive Director of Global Indices at INSEAD, and he joins us now on INSEAD Knowledge. Bruno, thanks for coming in.
Hello.
As usual, Bruno, there's not too much movement in the top 10, but some exciting developments in the top 25 this year.
We see again that the top 10 is remarkably stable. We have again, and for the 6th year in a row, Switzerland at the top, followed by Sweden, by the UK, the US, Finland and Singapore. And indeed there are 8 European countries in the top 10. The arrival of China in the top 25 is a harbinger of more similar phenomena to come. We see a number of emerging economies actually moving up very quickly along that ladder of innovation performance.
Cooperation emerged as a key theme in this year's report. What specifically can countries do in this regard to increase their innovativeness?
Innovation is becoming more cooperative across national borders, largely because of digitization, largely because of information networks. It is now more and more common to have an innovation created and marketed at the international level. These new types of collaboration are also new sources of competitiveness and wealth creation for a large number of countries, especially emerging economies.
What makes innovation so critical to today's emerging markets?
Innovation is critical today to all types of economies. Rich economies have to face the challenges of aging populations, eroded comparative advantages in traditional sectors, and innovation is the only way by which they can face these challenges and create new jobs and employment. For emerging countries, the situation is different. They have, for most of them, growing populations, and they have a growing middle class with new needs, new demands, new expectations. Innovation is a way also for them to create the jobs needed for this new path of growth and ways to create stable comparative advantages.
One country which has consistently done well in the Global Innovation Index is the UK. To what extent do you see Brexit having an impact on the UK's standing going forwards?
It is clear that Brexit will have important consequences on British economy and society, many of which cannot be fully measured today. It is clear also that the good results registered by the UK over the last few years, being number 2 last year, number 3 this year, will not be erased overnight. Yet one should not underestimate that there will be some effects of being less able for the UK to participate in European-wide research programs and exchange programs like Erasmus, for instance, and also the diminished ability to market innovation to a broad-based European market will have their own effect. Regarding the rest of the world, there are also effects that should not be underestimated. One may conclude that indeed the path chosen by the UK is justified by the fact that smaller economies may be more agile in the face of crisis. Indeed, some of the results of GII could support that opinion, saying if Switzerland and Singapore are so close to the top, part of the reasons for that is that they are smaller economies. It would be a dangerous path because it would dangerously underestimate the effect of international cooperation. Switzerland and Singapore are truly globally integrated economies which benefit from the size of other markets. So the effect of Brexit, again, will be mixed, but we should not rush to conclusions too quickly about what will be negative, what will be positive on the side of innovation.
What would you conclude are the key takeaways from this year's report for policymakers?
I would single out 3 main conclusions. The first one is that in the face of continued low growth, all types of economies need new economic models and new sources of growth. Innovation is then critical for all of them. Mature economies need to rejuvenate their innovation patterns. They need to create more jobs. Emerging economies need to integrate better and draw benefits from the emergence of Industry 4.0. So all of them need to diversify. A second takeaway is that quality matters. Publications, the ability of researchers to actually communicate with other researchers internationally, all these are elements that condition the quality of innovation. A third conclusion of the report is that the role of governments cannot be underestimated. It can spark additional initiatives, it can spark innovation, it can show the way, and those countries who have invested in education, who have promoted research and development, are actually gathering the fruit today of these good policies. The example of the United Arab Emirates is one that comes to mind in that respect, and again, we hope to see more of the same in the years to come. The global dimension of innovation will be a critical element to ensure that the success of these policies is maintained in the future.
Bruno, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.